Listen up, old people.
What did you say?
If you're 80 years old and your goal is a flare, I want you to literally go for it. If you've got back pain but always wanted to do a handstand, time to start. If you're 50 pounds overweight and you imagine doing a muscle up ever since you were a kid, it's go time. People in their 20s saying they're old too, all the way up to folks in their 70s, ready for action and asking questions in the comments. I'm gonna tell you some brutal, honest truth that you probably don't wanna hear but need to. If you think you're old, you're gonna get there even faster. And culture, the people around you, and the media are gonna help you slide right into that rocking chair. Why? Because it's the mentality of everything around us. Negativity permeating the news, media saturated with hype, society sentimentalizing failure, a culture of entitlement and complaints, and age, wisdom, and true health glossed over with youth artificially glamorized. But if you want to reverse this mentality, you're in the right place. It's time to take some 40-year-olds and turn them into 20-year-olds in Pac-Rimian years. And time to take some 20-year-olds and turn them into 40-year-olds of wisdom in Pac-Rimian years. In this video, we will outline 3 magical steps to body mastery that cut straight through any obstacles of your situation, age, or level. Plus the precise alchemical steps for the key movements that are foundational to your total body mastery for strength and sustainability through life. For everyone from the older athlete all the way to those who refuse to retire or are coming out of retirement and stepping into new life. I call this the Lazarus Project. Jesus called Lazarus out of the tomb and made the dead come to life. I'm calling you to rise up and master your body and mind, no matter your age or level. Jesus says you had to lay down your life and pick up your cross. Maybe you'll do that or already have, and that's great, the most important. All I'm asking you to do is work on your body and mind despite all your obstacles and what other people say. All the haters, negative Nancys and Nelsons out there, don't worry about them. You focus on you and they'll fall away, like booster rockets falling away as the main cabin rises higher and higher. I'm just asking that you really honestly think about your goals and dreams and then do it, despite that little voice that might be popping up in your head right now. To be clear, no, I am not telling an 80-year-old to go out and start chucking flares. Not that it can't be done. Look at Joanna from Germany at 95 years old. Look at Stu or Deidre. Or Venny doing full-blown Powerbatics katas. Look at B-Boy Jr. in his 40s. But to be clear, I said in the beginning of the video to go for it. But what exactly is the it? The it is the first magical step. It is receiving the idea of body mastery like a gift. You have to accept the idea and start unpacking it. There's a process to it that I will outline here. A process to body mastery or any skill. And even after you unwrap a gift, there may be more packaging to remove. And then you might even have to assemble it. Each skill in Powerbatics is a gift. But realize this, the gift is not the skill itself, like a spinning handstand or whatever. It's actually the journey. The packaging is all of the clutter, regrets, and negative things in your life holding you back that you have to remove. The assembling is the easy part. Like building a handstand is actually really easy. Start with frog stands and bridge holds, then flying frogs and bridge hops, then some freestanding kick-ups. Add in some wall handstands for good measure, 10 to 20 reps for 5 rounds, static holds of 30 to 60 seconds for anything stationary, and you'll easily achieve a handstand. It's not rocket science. It's all the other stuff that has to be removed from your life or added to your life to make a handstand or any sort of body mastery possible. Just like building an actual rocket. You don't just build it straight up and blast off. There's scaffolding, structures, a team of people building it. Building a handstand, which is just a simple visual example of true body mastery, is the same as building a rocket. But we're not there yet. We're simply in the first magical step, the step of receiving the idea as a gift. Then beginning to unwrap it, removing the people and things from your life that hold you back from your goals. just like Lazarus walking out of the tomb and removing his burial clothes. It really is as simple as that. Don't get me wrong, it can be difficult and painful, but it's simple. And if you think I haven't been in that very place, you're sadly mistaken. Something easy to share here. One time during this phase of my life where I was building up to level 10 in each element of Powerbatics so that I personally had the experience to coach all of it. In the free run element, I wanted to at least do every skill once on hard ground and double backflips at least on a soft surface. I didn't even start serious training until after we built Pacific Rim Athletics, and I was already 36, 37 years old. I can't even tell you how many falls and crashes I had. How many moments of frustration. And I'll even tell you this, how I trained my own students on a skill like this and they landed in 5 minutes. And I'd been working on it 5 months or longer. Or how I'd get hurt. I'd have to speak differently to myself and rise back up. But don't mistake videos for the actual instruction, community, and relationships. The scaffolding that launches the rocket, okay? Second magic step, the assemblage, the alchemy that brings it together. The metaphorical wizardry that casts the spell of the strength and skill. There's the actual physical steps you must take. Here's what they are. There's the remedial stage. This is the stage that about 80% of people come into training. Even some that have strength or been doing CrossFit or working out. It's remedial because of the weak links, past injuries, or overweight. The other 15% of people might have, as we call them, splintered skills. For example, a few pull-ups or even a muscle up. Maybe can long distance run or whatever. But nothing works together with synergy. Like the CrossFit games where nothing actually flows. Anyway, the people who might still be remedial, but we can train a little faster. The final 5% of people might be beginner, intermediate, or already advanced in general fitness, or perhaps a competitive athlete, but they'd still be considered remedial because even though they're super strong in certain areas, the weak links are that much more ingrained. The key here is finding their baseline because people love to practice what they're good at and they'll end up creating weak links because they're doing it on their own. And they stay in their comfort zone, which makes weak links worse. So that's all sort of the remedial stage, okay? Once baseline is established, let's look at 3 simple goals to start building as an example of alchemical wizardry. A press handstand, a V-stand, and a muscle up. I'm sure you've heard those before. The alchemical wizardry comes together from all angles to assemble these simultaneously. That's the key. A press handstand is simply full splits practice in pyramid push-ups. V-stand begins with L hip lifts, and this strength carries back over to the core strength for the press handstand. And the work on the handstand builds your lats and core as stabilizers for the pull-ups, which eventually turn into muscle-ups. Honestly, you don't even need a pull-up bar. And then these skills all reinforce the total holistic movement of the body in kata training like we do in Powerbatics. I didn't even do calisthenics or a lot of pull-ups, simply ground training like exactly what I'm sharing here in the handstand work, and then I could do pull-ups and muscle-ups. Are you starting to see why it's almost like alchemy? Not real magic or anything woo-woo. It's actually all about positivity, life, and growth. The magic step, and something that 80% of people just won't do because their brain is too hardwired. You have to sacrifice old, worn-out, dying beliefs for new life, strength, and skill. It will cost you your old thoughts in exchange for new ones. It might even cost you aches, pains, and ouches that you'll just have to suck up. And it'll cost you hard work spanning not just a silly 7-day trial or a 30-day course, but months, even years. I'm just being honest. Some people understand that. Others will complain 20 ways till Sunday about everything in their life and never accomplish anything they really wanted to. It's like this analogy. I don't care if you do cold plunges or not, but it's like people who go to a place with a cold plunge. It's incredibly healthy for you. Minimum 30 seconds to start experiencing the benefits. But the first 15 seconds, your brain is yelling, "Get out, what are you doing?" But they'll stick their toe in to test and then shake their head. If they actually do get enough gumption to go in, they're completely resistant the entire way. Shake their head frantically and get back out as fast as they can. And they live their lives like that because habits carry over. If people live their lives like that, it's no wonder why people end up the way they do. And then they're the ones whispering to you, "You're too old." It could be your buddy after you've just graduated college. It could be a longtime friend 30 years down the line. And it might cost you your pride. Imagine you go to a gym, okay? And instead of deadlifting or going to yoga class, you accept the horse stance challenge and say, "I am not quitting until I get 5 minutes." I guarantee you that your legs are gonna shake. Your brain is gonna be screaming back at you, telling you to quit. What are you doing? You look like a fool. You'll probably drop down to the ground in low squat or bend your back over, trying to keep your arms up in the air, trembling all over. At 2 minutes, maybe 3, you're yelling, and no matter how religious, maybe even letting the expletives fly. You'll go to a depth you've never been, and you may even cry or get angry at yourself because you only got to 2.5 minutes. And that's just a simple little horse stance. But it's about your mind, your pride. It's not even about your body. It wasn't easy moving from Florida to Alaska, leaving stable employment, building a business. It was painful. It had costs, but it was part of my process of removing the past to begin growing something new and beautiful. It's even where I attained all my most advanced strength and skill. And that even way later in life, and now passing that on to my children. But it took sacrifice of comfort, sacrifice of the opinions of others, and sacrifice of old thoughts, habits, and lifestyle in order to rise up. Just like I want you to do. Rise up, shake off the dust, receive the gift, walk out of the tomb, start unwrapping your life, and build the strength and skill that will completely change you. You might have questions at this point, so I want you to subscribe, but also opt in to connect with our team. See you in the next video and in training soon.